Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to solve Leetcode daily challenge, problem number 438. Find all anagrams in a string. So the problem statement is given two strings S and P, return an array, all start indices of P's, anagram in S. Okay, fine. You may return the answer in any order. Got it. An anagram is a word or phrase formed by rearranging the letters of a different word or phrase, typically using all the original letters exactly once. So, to to get a better understanding of this, let's we just go through this example. So basically, we have to find out all the anagrams in S, all the anagrams of P in S. Okay. So if you see, anagrams are basically a word or phrase formed by rearranging the letter or of a different word or phrase. Okay. So basically, if we narrow it down, if the number of occurrences of each letter is exactly equal in both the substrings, then we can say, okay, this is an anagram of P, right? For example, if we start with index 0 and the length of P is 3, okay? So if we check the first three characters of my string S, then I can say, yes, it can be an anagram, right? Because this substring had the exact same number of alphabets or characters as in P. Next, we'll move on to the next index, like the next start index, and then the next three letters which we'll get is B, A, E, which is not equal to the letters P. So we can now skip to the next index, next starting index. Again, A, E, B, then and so on. Like we just keep on incrementing our start pointer or start index, and we will check if the number of characters in the SS substring is equals to the number of character in P. So it's going to be a really simple problem to solve, and I'm going to use a hash map to store the number of characters at a particular moment of time for a starting index. So let's move toward the solution and explain what we are actually doing on the go. So first of all, like a base condition will be if my length of P is greater than length of S, then in that case, I am sure that there cannot be any anagram of P in S. So we'll just return an empty. So if length of P is greater than length of S, then return an empty list. Okay, we're good. Next, as I mentioned, like I'll be using a hash map for storing the number of characters at starting from a given start index. So let's do that. So p count will be the hash map which I'll be using uh, to count the number of characters in p, and same s count for s. So first, what I want to do is I want to check if there is an anagram in S from index 0. So that we'll now have a base case solved. So for index in in range length of P. So basically for the example which we just saw, we will be checking the first three characters from S, right? And of course, like when we are taking length of P, we will traverse all the characters from P. Now it's going to be really simple. P count, like whatever character we have at index in P, we will be implementing the value of that. Correct. We will be implementing the value of that by 1. So I have used this get operation or the get method so that we don't get a key error while accessing the values from P count. And if there will be any value of that particular element or character, we will take that value and increment 1 in it. Otherwise, we'll initialize it with 0, and then increment the 1. Similarly, I'm going to do the same for my S count for S, and S. Okay, we're good to go. So by doing this, now I have count my number of characters in the P string, right? So we are good. Like we don't need to check for any substring, or we don't need to do the calculation again and again for the p. So we are good till this point. Next thing, we have checked for what like starting index as 0. So if currently my p count is equal to my s count, then I want to add. Let's define array which I'll be returning at the end by the name indices. So if currently when starting with index 0, if p count and s count is equal, I want to append 0 in the result. Okay. Next comes the interesting part where I will be checking, the anagram starting with each index. Okay. If there will be any, we will add that starting index to our result. So to do that, what I'll be doing is I'll be taking indexes starting from 1 because we have already covered the starting index 0 over here. I'll start with 1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take length s and I'll be subtracting out my length of p. Okay. So by doing this, we are making sure we will not go out of bounds. And incrementing 1 will make sure that uh, we are doing it the correct way because indexing in Python starts with a 0. So we are good till this point. Now, what I want to do is I want to check if basically what we did is like we have moved our starting index by 1, right? So now we can say that whatever starting index, for example, we are at 1 right now. So we can subtract out the number of occurrences of element that was at index 0, right, by 1. So to do that, what we need to do is we will take s count and we will pick the element at index minus 1 from s. And what we will be doing is we will be subtracting out 1 from it. Okay, this is done. Next thing which I would like to do is to make this comparison efficient in the later phases. If my count of index minus 1th element gets equal to 0 after my subtraction, then I would just simply want to delete it from my hash map or from my dictionary. Okay. Next is a very simple thing to do. I want to update my S count. Like basically, I'll be adding the new element which I'll get in the window. Okay. For example, previously we have considered elements from 0 to 2 index. Now, if we are at starting index 1, then we'll have to consider the element at the third index, right? So to do that, what I'll need to do is I want to check the index we'll take the starting index. I will be incrementing the length of p in it and minus 1. Okay, because of course like starting in Python indices start with a 0. And similarly like what we did over here, we will be using the exact same concept to initialize the value. Just update this element part, like the index of the element, and we will be good. Yeah, we are good till this point. Next, again, a check for if p count is equals to s count, then I want to add my current index into the resultant array. And after the completion of this for loop, I just want to return my indices. So this was the solution. Let's check out the test cases. And the test cases got passed successfully. Let's submit for further evaluation now. And yeah, so the answer got accepted, like the solution got accepted, and we performed decent, like we outperformed 70% of the submitted solutions. So thanks again, guys, for watching out the video and stay tuned with upcoming ones. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.